shit again, bro.
So softly lighting up the night.
Floating, wavy like the ocean. My physical emotions show my spirit as an omen. I'm in motion like the seven seas. Connect with men and them who think like Elohim. My flow warm like a sunbeam. My third eye shine red like the waters in your bloodstream. Young king, my tongue shine without a tongue ring. My talking bling bling like it's nothing. Glowing like slick brick chains at its apex. You basic if you want love without the hatred. It's dangerous, having faith amongst the faithless. Just stay in tune with the ancient and amens. Prayers to the dead and those that deserve killing. Your life is a gift, your presence is Thanksgiving. And to the wise, every day is a holiday. And to my enemies, every day's a borrowed one. Black Storm.
Face pissed off, miss shit off course. Which way shit's going? Spent too much time in hibernation. Sleep, what went wrong? Things changed from lift off up until the destination was reached. Mind and body weak, gone from the stress on the brain. Lost in the void of space. What does it really takes to stay sane and maintain stability? Is this really me floating in the maze haze of what will I? Could I? Who should I be? Am I destined to weep and cry my life away for all the wrong mistakes I made and take the blame? Damn, this shit is so insane. Just wanna flow free like a river into the ocean. Not headed what for the fucking drain. Life caught up in disarray. System malfunctioning. Made days instead of paydays. Red light blinking. Thinking, where's the green? Hoping this is a dream. It only seems to be a nightmare. Scared, pure fear of the unknown. Where's here? Do you know what I mean? Journeys through the galaxies at light speed. Please, just catch me.
Heart always crying, but my heart won't stay silent. Sky is the limit, but after that I'm not finished. Heart always crying, but my heart won't stay silent. Sky is the limit, but after that I'm not finished.
Yeah, I'm ready for liftoff, like a hooper when it's tip off. Yeah, I'm ready to score, ready for war. Polishing my floor so I can shine like a diamond in the store. I sparkle like the son of Allah, creating rain, hail, and earthquakes, the God in the flesh. And they say God makes no mistakes. From natural disaster to calm and laughter, I'm balancing the scales like a yin-yang master. Emotional intelligence is energy intelligence. The wise use the mind to align with the elements. Health is a benefit. Treat the body like a temple. They creating viruses to end you. State to state, new mandates are taking place. World's using faith as the government vaccinates. Hard to keep your head on straight in this world of the snakes. Reptilians pose as heads of state and Congress. You gotta shine on regardless. Glow amongst the godless, rise in Christ conscious. Free yourself from mental bondage and let there be carnage to the dragon, the beast, and harlot. In Revelation, I got the heart of a gladiator. Lightsaber like Luke and Darth Vader. Training like a Jedi Knight to fight ops to get the crowd jumping like a New Year's ball drop. Let's go!
Heart always crying, but my heart won't stay silent. Sky is the limit, but after that I'm not finished. Heart always crying, but my heart won't stay silent. Sky is the limit, but after that I'm not finished. Heart always crying.
Peace, power, prosperity. Rob Blackstorm. I have my special guest here in the building again. The wonderful Queens of the Zodiac, Monique Ruffin, the Moon Mama, Divine Feminine Works, Mel. How you guys doing? Happy Sunday to you all. As we talked in the beginning, a little wonky day for us. Vibrations a little crazy. What's your dream life been like, ladies, before we even get into it? How's your dreams been this couple of weeks? These last few days, actually. Have they been crazy? Deep?
Crazy, vivid.
Shadow worky?
You know what? I don't remember my dreams. Hardly
Really?
ever. I will remember a feeling, like I'll wake up with something and I might have a image of something, but not much. Like it's very rare for me. And my friends are calling me like, I'm dreaming. Like it's, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting, because I have a Pisces rising and my real-time world is my dream world. This is it. I'm in it right now. Y'all, my dream.
That's what's up. That's what's up. What's up with you, Mel? You been having these dreams too? These you said you
Mhm.
have them. You have them. Remember? Are you remembering them?
Mhm. Yeah, I'm someone I lucid dream a lot. So lately, but it's just been turned up lately. Like it's almost like I was dreaming in black and white before, and now it's like Technicolor. It's very, very vivid. But
Mm.
also
Definitely.
weird and random. Like sometimes spirit tells me other people's business. So if I know somebody, like they'll show me their life or they'll show me something that they're into, and it can get very interesting.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, my
Yeah.
sister does that too. She'll have dreams about people and things that's gonna happen, and they come true. Like,
Hmm.
and she's just like kind of tapping into that power herself. But yeah, it's interesting. I think that's happening to me myself because a lot of things have been happening and just showing me different things, and I'm like, man, it's intense to say the least. It's intense to say the least. So talk to us. I guess we talk. Let's talk about. Well, I want to talk about this because the news has been kind of popping lately. This Ohio situation, these train derailments, um, the UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena. We used to call them UFOs back in my day. You
Mhm.
know, what do you guys think? How is the zodiac showing any signs? The charts showing anything that might explain? These are both kind of like aerial things, right? The UAPs and these the derailments, but the toxins they're putting in the environment, the air, so to speak. Is there anything? I know the Pisces moon is ruled by Aries, and we're going into that coming out of Aquarius, which is an air sign. Is there any signs and symbols that you guys see that may explain this phenomenon that's happening?
Pluto and Aquarius. Like,
Mm,
get ready. This is the preview.
Mhm.
Like, this is going to be like this is going to be a common thing, I think, going into the future. And we're just getting a taste of it right now. But I definitely think it's Pluto about to enter Aquarius.
Mm.
mm. Yeah. Go ahead,
Fania,
Mo.
she's Stefania Truce.
Yeah.
Right. She said the water in Ohio is starting to taste different.
Yeah. I saw a video where this girl threw a rock in the water, and it
Hmm.
just was like
I saw
rainbow
that too.
color. It's crazy the things that are happening and all these train derailments like pretty much like every day. I think one happened earlier today or yesterday or something, but it's been like almost every day with these train derailments, and they all have toxic materials. Are we causing that because we're focused on it and we are thinking about it, and because
Mhm.
we are paying attention to it? Are we causing the derailments, or do you think this is something more sinister?
This is all very interesting. Here's the thing. America's in its Pluto return. So our systems are coming undone. So we are a part of all of it. So of course we are a part of the cause and effect of it. We've been coming to this trajectory like over time, choosing to not do anything about the frequencies that we were on, choosing to not heal, choosing to not reconcile was a choice for the opposite, right? So here we are. Um, and the thing that's challenging is that, as a person who's doing spiritual work, I have to remind myself that nothing is wrong, that this is what cause and effect is. This is a Pluto return. This is a shift out of the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. These experiences will force us to develop who we need to become in order to live through these experiences. So this woman, Sophia Trues, right? Like, I'm going to be praying for you and your family, and my hope is that you pray over everything you do, that you really ask yourself, who do you need to become to meet this scenario? What in you, because we are creators in this reality and nothing is a mistake. And the thing that I have learned living my life as in the time period that I've lived is that when hard things happen, they happen to crack me open, to become something new, and that is a similar experience. So, the rules are we have dominion over this planet. We have dominion in relationship with the planet. Let's say it that way. Through our consciousness, through our understanding of oneness and our practices of magic and all of that. And there are invisible deities and beings within us externally that are working on our behalf. And if we have the courage to ignite that power within us, then we can move through this and we can look back and go, look at who I've become because of these external experiences that forced me into something else. So we're always creating it, and we have the power to continue to create it if we know how to relate with it.
What you
Very
think,
well
Mel?
said. Like Mo said, it is the US Pluto return. And so a lot of the ugliness that has been under the rug is now going to be exposed. And in a way, it's good because this shakeup is allowing us to see what's really going on so that we can actually change it, which is actually one of the points of this particular new moon, is that it shows us the reality so that
Mhm,
we can tap in and now create a new one.
mhm,
It just sucks though, because it's almost like there's an element of collateral damage with this, right? um in terms of the things that people are experiencing, in terms of the things that we're hearing on the news. But again, it's the dawning of a new age, but there is no it doesn't happen with sunshine and rainbows. It happens with the exposition of what's not working, what systems are crumbling, what's not no what can't follow us into the future. And I think that we're just seeing that, like, and everything is speeding up too. Like
yes.
this everything that's
Yeah.
happening now, we would have heard about this once every couple of years, maybe, right? Like, remember when there used to be oil spills? There was a time where there was like an oil spill all the time. I feel like
Yeah.
that's what this energy feels
Mm,
like. It's
Mhm,
that same sort of thing, but it's happening so much faster because everything is picking up. And it's like you have to this is the time where you really have to ground yourself, and you really have to ground yourself in who you are to become, because
mhm.
things are moving rapidly. The distractions are everywhere, and they're not even distractions at this point. I think it's just really what's changing.
Yeah.
And it's really up to us to really be cognizant and be intentional about what we have all this information now. What are we going to do with it?
Mhm,
It's not just sit on the sidelines and be like, oh, that sucks, or
mhm.
wow, I don't know how I'm gonna get through this. No, you adapt. And
Yeah.
the
yes.
weird thing about this is that with all of these toxic spills, it's giving very like X-Men kind of vibes. Like, we're
Mhm.
going to start, our DNA is starting to mutate
Yeah,
Metahuman.
to,
that's
Yeah.
yeah,
right.
to adapt to this new
Mhm.
world, because the frequency of the world is changing, and we have to, not only do we have to, we are changing as well.
That's
I
right.
think that a lot of people right now in this moment are feeling physically ill, or that feeling of unsettledness is your body trying to catch up to where your spirit already is.
Yes.
Mm,
So a
mm.
lot of this is just an adjustment period, but it's you being rooted in who you are to become, despite whatever's going on right now. I think is what this time period is about.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
There's been a lot of Go ahead. Go ahead, Mo. Go ahead,
No,
Mo.
I just said Ashe.
I say, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
let me
You
say
got
this. I was loving Sophia's
pure fire, man. Pure fire.
said,
Pure fire.
she said, I am not a Christian. I love that, right? She said, I'm not a Christian. That is so great.
Yeah.
I hope the Meet and Pray didn't make her think that I thought she was a Christian, because that like we all right. But I love that, like, we are developing ourselves. We are evolving in our own spirituality, in our own wisdom, in our own way of being here. And that's what this time is giving us the opportunity to do. And um, I'm just in awe of the challenge and the difficulty, but I'm also in awe of the communities that are being formed to support ourselves and one another. Like, we are we're realizing that we're here. Like, I remember when I first got, like, oh, I'm only 40 something. I could be here for another 60, 70 years. I have to figure this out. Like, you can't give up. You know what I mean? You have to stay engaged. And that's what these experiences are giving us the opportunity to do. And we're going to become a different a different form of human. We are going to change, and it's powerful.
Mhm.
That was an interesting thing about what she was saying about like what you're saying about the like metahumans and us transforming, becoming mutants, and the different environments. That was a theme in like Black Lightning, where there was basically a toxic chemical spill. Now, to remind it jump started my brain to think about that, how we're basically creating new timelines and coming into the newness of ourselves, and how that involves a soul upgrade, a solar upgrade. Even with all the, there's been a lot of solar activity as far as the sun as well. Like Hollow's talking about, like a lot of gamma radiation. They're talking about coming into the environment and how harmful it's going to be. I'm like, well, it's not going to be harmful for us, like the melanated beings. Like, we ain't got nothing to worry about. We can absorb all the electromagnetic spectrum and use it as energy, just
Yeah.
like Black Panther suit. So it's not really going to be harmful for us. It's all about, and I like the alchemy also of this particular comment by Sophia, where she said, yo, she's not playing victim. Like, she went to church. She's not Christian. She's an alchemist, right? This is the goal,
Yeah.
like alchemy, you know?
Yes.
I'm not a Christian, but I'm going to go to church. I'm still going to tap into that frequency of the choir, that frequency of people as a collective praying and believing in a higher power, right? Even though I don't ascribe to the Christ or Jesus, I can still tap into Christ consciousness. And
That's
that's
right.
something that I do, sometimes. So it's good to see that people are really coming into the space and fold that you're supposed to be able to be divergent, fit into any space and adapt and absorb what you need to absorb from that space. Don't be so dogmatic, like, oh, I don't, it's so hardcore. Yeah, you don't believe in Christianity, but there's still a benefit, right? Big Mama went there, right?
Mhm.
Uncle Gary went there, right? The ancestors went there in slavery. They formed coalitions and things like that in the 60s and the 70s, and the Freedom Riders and things like that. So we have to really, and even her saying she's going to make herbal medicine, right? To
Mhm.
help people for what's to come in Ohio. We need that. Like, that's really what this is about. This spiritual, mystical, magical journey
Yep.
is about. Not just spreading awareness, not just
Right.
making great memes and great videos, but really doing things, like I always say, with our hands, and Pisces rules the feet, and moving into a new space of inventions. We're the aliens, so we
Mhm.
have to create the new tech out here. We're
Mhm.
the real aliens, those of us that are doing this. I said this on my last video, but the longer that I live, the more that I see the 144,000 in real life. Like, it's only a limited few of us that are going to make the change, and it's just the same limited few that run the planet right now, right?
Mhm.
So there's only a limited few of us that are really doing this work and are going to really implement the things. So yeah, like Straight Panther said, don't throw your Bibles away. There's still things that are in that Bible that are valuable. There's wisdom in it. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Still tap in and still use these tools that have been working for centuries. And there's, different magical ways you could use it. But the real magic is manifesting something here in this 3D reality to make the world better and shine light on the world.
That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah. So the Pisces. So talk to us. I guess let's go into the new moon in Pisces tomorrow. What does that look like? Pisces also to me is also like has a yin and yang quality, dealing with the intention, the intuition, the subconscious mind. What do
Mhm.
you guys see as far as that tomorrow? I think it's like 1 something p.m. or something, 1 something a.m. here in New York City.
Mhm.
On a
11:30. I
tornado.
think it's 11:30 here,
Yeah,
I believe, in
two
California.
thirty here. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So it's gonna be 2:30
Um,
here.
the thing that I'm really excited about with this Pisces energy, and I my work is to use the astrology to follow the sun and the moon so that I know how I want to update my system, right? This body is a system that is a living, breathing conduit of the divine. Pisces is the where that begins and ends. Pisces is where everything comes together, right? So Pisces is the subconscious. It's the question beneath the question beneath the question. And when we understand that the subconscious is running everything, Subtle energy is the power that generates all of life force. It's feminine, it's Piscean, it's subconscious, and it's divine, it's ether, it's water. It's the things that we aren't bringing our attention to. It's breathing, it's the beating heart, but you're not thinking about that stuff. But without that stuff, you're nothing, right? So,
That's true.
the thing for me with Pisces is, you know, this new moon is going to be at the first degree, like the last three new moons have been. They're all at the
Mm,
first degree because we're starting a new sector, and we've been at one, right? One is the Fool in the tarot, right? So it's like we're all in
mhm,
this place of new beginnings. When the time the sun goes into Aries, it's about to be all gas. But so this month is to use your energy to reprogram your subconscious for who you truly are, your authentic self. Saturn is getting ready to come into Pisces, right? So Saturn is coming into Pisces. Saturn has been in Aquarius doing the work of tapping into your higher self, anchoring your connection to your higher self, that higher mind of God. Pisces is the subconscious where we're going to bring. Pisces also rules the imagination. So what you've been imagining, your subconscious, your those that internal creative, Saturn is coming there. That internal creative power that is the primordial creative energy, right? So Saturn is coming there and saying, now it's time to do the work to bring your consciousness into the 3D reality. This always just makes me think of Walt Disney, because, or even America, like they just created a big a big thing, right? Like America is just a big amusement park based in somebody's fantasy about what humans could be. That's what America is. That's what Disneyland is.
mhm.
What is yours? What is yours? Do
I like
you
that.
have a vision? Do you have a clear idea of what you are here to do, what you're anchoring? So for me, I'm doing Follow the Sun, and I am moving through the world as a healer now. I really like, I watch movies like Mary Poppins and The Wiz and all that, so I can tap into the magic and the playfulness, because that's who I am. I'm Miss One, I'm the Moon Mama, right?
That's
I'm
right.
here to
That's right.
I'm here to bring it all together, but understanding that it's just a thought, it's just a subconscious that created all of this. That's it. So what's your big bang? What's your own big bang? This is the opportunity for that. So this is where we create it all.
That was amazing, Mo. Like, I
Okay.
love that. That explanation was everything.
Thank you,
It's
man.
like, what is your Disneyland? What does your Disneyland look
Disneyland.
like?
That's your,
I
yeah.
love that.
I've been preaching that the last couple of weeks. Like that was the times, the doorway. Like it's the time. Go ahead, Mel.
I don't even know how to follow up on that. Like, that was just everything. That was just
Yeah.
everything.
Oh, super solid. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so like she said, the last couple of new moons have been at 1, right?
Mhm.
And conversely, the last couple of full moons have all been at 16, which is 7. So everything about the
Mm,
beginning of this year, from now until April, is all about that starting and that number 7, that 2023, that 7 energy.
Mhm.
Everything starts and begins with you. That's what Pisces talks about. That's what going into Aries talks about. Everything starts and begins with you. And Pisces is the fetus. It is the fetus in the amniotic fluid. Like,
mm,
we are getting to the point where we are about to be birthed.
Mhm.
What have you been
mhm.
developing? Have you been developing your arms? Have you been developing your eyes, your ears, or have you just been sitting there like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. Because you gonna be
Right.
stillborn. I hate to put it that way, but if you haven't been
Mm.
doing
Yeah.
the work, you are about to be stillborn in a world that is completely chaotic, in a world that will pull you apart in so many different directions. And I'm not saying this to fear monger. I'm not saying, but this is the time to do the work. And this Pisces new moon is just going to give you that on a silver platter. It
Mhm.
is going to feel tough though, because Saturn is closely conjunct the new moon.
Mhm.
So a lot of fears are going to be coming up. You may have been doing the work, but it's stagnant a little bit. It's delayed. There have been challenges and it's causing you to doubt yourself. You have to push through that because
Mhm.
that's how you're going to get to the other side. Saturn can also represent everything that's going on right now, this calamity, this chaos. And if you get caught up in that, it's just going to delay your development. It's going to delay that healthy birth that we're all given the opportunity to experience in the next couple of months. So now is the time. It's not even just about getting your mind right, it's about getting your spirit right. Like Mo said,
Yeah.
everything runs with the subconscious. What are you feeding it? How have you been developing it? It's okay if you've been scared. It's okay if you've been a little bit doubtful, hesitant, all of those natural human emotions. That's okay. But just don't let them get the best of you. Don't allow them to derail your development because it's coming whether you want it to or not. And you have to decide, are you going to go with it or are you going to be left behind?
Yeah.
Basically.
Ashe. Whew.
Excellent.
Woo.
Excellent.
Woo.
You guys
Yes.
are
Feel it. That's the thing about Pisces is you can feel the energy. It's alive. It's electricity in the air, and if you're not scared, you ain't alive. If you're not scared, you ain't
right.
alive. You can be fucking shaking in your boots right now, but also clear about we going forward no matter what. Ooh.
Do it even if your voice is shaking. Right.
That's right.
That's the thing. Do it even if your body is shaking. Fear is part of the game. Like it's part of the game. It's like when you first approach a woman, you're nervous, but after you do it like once or twice, it becomes nothing. You know,
Some of
it's
y'all don't
it's
seem
just part of the
nervous though.
game.
Some of
Trust
y'all
me.
don't seem nervous. I mean, you may.
It
I guess
depends.
y'all
You
covered up
usually have
well,
to have
but
a lot of experience. You got to have a lot of experience. It takes time. When you're a little boy, young man, you first approach a woman, like it's nerve wracking. It is. It's nerve wracking. But after a while, certain age is nothing. But it's that same type of energy, that childlike energy, to where you're starting something new and it's going to be challenging. It's not going to be easy. You might even question, like even myself this week, like I was questioning, like, is this where I'm supposed to go? And I got my chart read by the best, Monique Ruffin, Mel, the Moon, Mel, Divine Feminine Works. I got my stuff read by the best. And even myself, I'm like, shit, study this shit for years. Like, is this really the path? And I'm like, yeah, nigga, it's the path. You know what I'm saying? What else you gonna do? You tried everything else, nigga. But it's like you have to make sure, and you have to, and it brought me to like being deeply rooted. Like all these red is out here, with the Rihanna thing and the Doja Cat and all these things I talk about in my videos, like the heavy red, even with her having a baby, right? And the red in the background and things like that. Like they want you rooted in their Disney world, as Mo was saying. Like they want you rooted in their reality. And it's like, are you going to be rooted in your reality, what you're here to manifest? Like Sophia was saying, like, are you going to be the next alchemist to create the next potion for the people in Ohio? Like,
Yes.
that's what we need to really be looking at, the next elixir that's going to save
yes.
people, not just Black people, right?
Right.
But people all over the world, because we are the vanguard.
Yes.
As a melanated being, it is a responsibility, right? With
Yes.
great power comes great responsibility. You just can't be
Yes.
sitting here talking about, how great,
So melanin is midi-chlorians and
and just be talking about melanin and like that's it. Like, yeah, 9 ether beings, and look how like those pride days, that was good in James Brown's time, Bobby Hemmitt's time and all that. Those are times we needed that. It weren't Black people on TV in the 80s. They weren't Black people in commercials in the 70s and the 60s. You couldn't even go into the hospital in the 40s and the 30s. There was no, so you had to do it all yourself. So now that we've made all these advancements, and now the world is actually getting smaller because of technology. So we all have different access. And I remember during the Pandeezy, where everybody, it was Black, white, everybody, getting together, whether it was for George Floyd, whether it was for just going against the mandates, right? It was people of all races, colors, and creeds. And that is the age of Aquarius. But you
Yes.
need to tap into your own individual powers in order to maximize it, because as we see, the world is going ups and down, topsy turvy. And if you don't have your purpose, if you're not rooted in your purpose, You're not rooted in what you want to be. Your focus will be everywhere out there, and you will physically get sick. You will physically be ill. Like you will physically go through all these changes trying to escape reality, trying
Yeah.
to escape what you have to do. And sacrifice is important. For a
Hmm.
mother, Yemaya's number is 7 as well, right? So that's interesting that you guys talked about the number 7 coming up because Yemaya's number is 7. And it's Yemaya's energy or Yemoja is also tapped into the intuition, the inner waters, the blood, the 7 seas,
Hmm.
things like that. So getting back into our internal energy, into our dreams. What are your dreams? What is your purpose? What is your enlightenment? Where are you going to take humanity to the next level? So yeah, very interesting, very 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 powerful time. And I think we have to take advantage going into the real new year, as Mel always talks about. The real new year, not the fiscal new year we had in January, but the real new year coming in March when we go into Aries season, because that's when it's going to start getting real, when it starts getting warm. Um, Talk about a little bit further about Saturn and Pisces and how that's going to look for us, how it's going to look for the family, what type of things we should look out for.
One of the things that I feel like is interesting about that being a Pisces rising, that is that if I'm not clear about what I'm doing, the tide will just carry you. It'll just like Pisces, because it's that water. Like if you don't anchor yourself, you'll just be flowing everywhere and every which way. And I have experienced in my life often doing things just because I go with the flow,
Mm,
unconsciously going with the flow, not like, so with Pisces rising, I now set a profound intention that everything in my life serves my evolution, that I
mm-hmm,
always choose things that work for me and benefit me and serve my purpose, because the Pisces energy is just blow you away. You know what I mean? And so I have to have an overreaching intention for that. So with Saturn is restrictions. Saturn is discipline. Saturn is focus. Saturn is conservation, um, conserving your energy. Pisces is the opposite of that. Pisces is
right.
like, right? So, but here's the other thing, Neptune is in Pisces, and
Mm-hmm,
Neptune cancels out Saturn
mm-hmm,
because, you know, water will wash everything away over time. So we really are cre- constructing new reality. Like the old system is done. America and the way we have done it. Like, so how do these things, like there was a time, we haven't done this for a long time, but I'm aged in a way that this is the stuff I remember. We used to watch the same TV shows at the same time. Most
mm-hmm,
black people used to always be Christian. We all went to the same school, studied the same books. You know what I mean? Like we all had to do things in a certain way to fortify the system in which we were participating in. Well, now that system is coming undone. So, and we're moving into the age of Aquarius. And so, which system do we want to fortify? Our own, because the age of Aquarius is about your individuality and your unique contribution to this time, to this experience. So it's time for us to be deeply focused on what we're here to do, our purpose, our mission. But many of us have to clean up our old lives. Like you can't pour new wine into
oh,
old.
Vasquez.
Right,
I
you
love that.
cannot. So you must. Pisces is the your family stuff. It's the stuff that you inherited from your family. Many of us grew up Christians. My great grandfather was a Christian minister. You know what I mean, teaching me about Jesus. So you have to clean those belief systems up so that you can then put new energy into your purpose and what you're doing. So those are the general things that I see about Saturn and Aquarius. I mean Saturn and Pisces, and I'm actually really excited.
Mm. Go ahead, Mel.
I think the Saturn and Pisces is gonna give people a nice mirror with respect to where they are, because Saturn is all
Mm.
about reality. And like Mo said, that Pisces energy is all about the subconscious, the stuff that the program that's been running in the background that you haven't even been thinking about. Saturn in Pisces is going to bring that into your reality. And so it's just it's going to let you see where you're at, what your programming currently is. And so it gives you the opportunity to assess, okay, this is where I'm at right now. Because whatever's showing up in my reality is either really good. So it means that my programming is healthy, it's in alignment with what I want. Like, this is cool, I'll do more of that. Or what's showing up in my reality like really sucks. I don't like what's happening. I don't like who's around me, what my situations are. I know that now I have the power to change it.
Mm.
And that new moon in Pisces is going to give you that like fertile soil to plant those seeds of that new programming. But it's also going to be challenges and delays. Like, it's like dreaming and having all of this fantastical energy, because it's Pisces, plus, like Mo said, Neptune is in Pisces. So the dreams and the delusions have been really on like level 20, and Saturn kinds of bring it down a notch. Saturn's like, okay, you're not gonna get too high. Like, it's time for you to get grounded a little bit. It's time for you to be a little realistic. Maybe some of the things that you've been thinking are not for right now, right? Saturn is all about longevity too. Maybe some of the dreams that you've been dreaming real big, like, okay, I'm gonna be the CEO, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And Saturn's like, hold up, why don't you just start by incorporating your business? Why don't you just take that first practical step, right?
Once you get an LLC, right?
Yeah, exactly. Before you start picking out the china that you're gonna have in your corner office, like,
get that EIN first.
it's like there's a process. There's a process to this. So kind of you have to get into the natural flow of the process. I think that Saturn adds a little bit of that reality to that amorphous, nebulous kind of energy that we've been feeling, specifically with Neptune and Pisces. So it's going to be interesting, I think.
Yeah. It also makes me tap into like the Isis or Set type of energy, where she's nurturing Heru, feeding from the breast, and Heru just representing the will. Like, what are you nurturing your will? Like, are your emotions geared towards your will, what you're willing into the universe? Are they geared towards, just going to work and coming home and watching TV? Like, is that where you feel like, are you comfortable living in? And there's nothing wrong with that, if you love your job, if you love your career. But if you're just doing it for a paycheck and you have a higher purpose, but you're practicing avoidance, then that's the problem. You're not nurturing your will. You're not feeding yourself good food. Like I said, what are you eating out of your Super Bowl? Like, the Super Bowl just happened, but what are you feeding yourself from your Super Bowl? Is their lives, celebrity lives, and the lives of people out there, and what Jonathan Majors is wearing, and he is wearing pink, and they're destroying masculinity. Like, what type of masculinity are you bringing? Hollywood's gonna Hollywood. They've been Hollywooding for the last 100 years. They're not gonna stop. They're not going to stop trying to mislead you and confuse you and have you thinking that there's an agenda. What's your agenda? And what are you nurturing? What flow are you bringing to your life so that you can manifest new realities for yourself and bring new things into your own manifestation? So I think that's important. And you need structure to do so.
That's right.
So I think Saturn Pisces is important because you need structure. You need to have a plan. You need to have some sort of organization. You need to know the steps that you're going to take step by steps. You need a certain box and limit, because you could be, there's people out here in this mystical community, especially the magical community, and it's just, think it, think it into existence. That's it. Let me sit down, eat
and
my
ain't nobody
bonbon.
doing no type of work.
Eat my hot Cheetos. And that's it. Watch Netflix all day, and shit's just gonna come. I'm just gonna think it out,
My husband's gonna show up with $1 million, and it's just gonna be great.
It's just gonna be great. I don't have to develop my social skills. Like, I don't have to learn how to communicate. I don't have to learn how to compromise. I don't know
I used to think
me too.
I had a lot of magical thinking, and it's like the magic can't flow if the structures are not in place. Magic is real, but you pay dues for magic.
Magic is mathematics.
That's right. That's right.
Mathematics. Yeah. Magic is math. It's a formula to it,
That's right. One of the things I've been seeing a lot of 639s, 333.
Me too. Yes.
963. And I'm like, so that's, and to me, that's like creation is happening. Like, it's So those numbers remind me that it is happening, but you got to stay with it. Like I'll do my the things that I do, and then it won't show up exactly the way I desire it, but I have to know, like, oh, but you're closer than you were, right? And the fact that you're staying on it and staying with it is the power, to keep the momentum going, to keep momentum going, so that by the time that full moon comes to Virgo, because when the full moon comes to Virgo, y'all, like, the Virgo is the earth realm. Virgo is where things come out of the Pisces is in the invisible, and Virgo is where things come into manifestation. So right now, it might seem really hard to keep going, but keep going. Even if it's just in your imagination. Like sometimes I can't get up and exercise, but I could do it in my imagination. I could see myself in my imagination because the brain doesn't know the difference. The body
Mhm.
is like, okay.
You got to keep doing the
And
work.
studies show
And it's a
that if you
very,
do
oh no, go ahead.
go ahead. Sorry. No, no,
No,
go
no, no,
ahead.
you, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say, but just real quick, studies do verify what you're saying, Mo, that if you do think that you're working out, the actual muscle fibers in your body will go according to your imagination. Like it's really psychosomatic. So if you think you are actually affecting the body. That doesn't mean that you could just rely on visualizing it. But it's
Right.
the same thing sports players do, right? They'll meditate and they'll visualize themselves shooting a million shots. And then when they go in the game, they actually do it. There's a story about Kobe Bryant, rest in power, who he was, Shaq was like, Kobe's just doing these moves at practice, like just doing these jab steps and doing these different moves. And Shaq was like, yo, why are you doing this? But we all see Kobe became one of the greatest basketball players of all time, just using his imagination. So it doesn't mean you don't have to step on the court, but that is an aspect of you developing your power. So I think that's great. Go ahead, Mel.
No, I was saying that it's very poignant that we're having this discussion on the day after Pisces season starts. Saturn is going into Pisces right during Pisces season. It's allowing us to remember that we are divine and human in the same instance. And
Mm-hmm.
the divinity is creating that within you, then the humanity is executing that without you. So when you put the two together, that's how you truly make things happen. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that when you get on your spiritual journey and you learn about magic, you're moving to the extreme end of the spectrum, right? Because you were so rooted in your humanity. So now
Mhm.
you're in the magic realm and you're like, I just got to do all the things, right? And this is what I believe. But then as you go farther along your journey, you realize it's a balance of both. And I feel like Saturn and Pisces during Pisces season, I think that theme is going to be hit hard at this
Mhm.
time. It's a mixture of humanity and divinity.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. I love this comment by Marjorie. I hope I'm saying your name right, Marjorie. Vision without action is a daydream, but action without vision is a nightmare. Right?
Yes.
Right.
Oh, that's
Super,
so
Yes.
super heat. You
good.
know, super heat. Because yeah, that's what it is. Like you have to have a balance. Even the numbers 369. I was hearing you guys saying that. And like Spirit was like, two odds, meaning that the odd and also the two hemispheres of the brain. I was thinking about, three and
Mm.
nine on the outside, right? The visual, the nine, and also the logical, the three, right? Putting
Mhm.
things, man, woman, and child, and also the nine, giving birth to something, which is the imagination. But in the middle is the six, the even number, which is you,
Mhm.
right? The even person putting things into existence, giving birth to something, right? So, and also the
Mm.
outer world, dealing with the outer world with the three and the nine, dealing with the, putting things into existence, but also maintaining a vision of your reality, but keeping a balance. Like you can't go too high in this and you can't go too low in this. And that's true freedom, right? You're not influenced by the outside world, these things that happen. You always have your goal in mind, like you always have your finish line. And that's the
Mhm.
importance of understanding your purpose and knowing what your purpose is. Do you guys, while I say this, do you guys really think people don't know their purpose? People that are over 25? Do you think people are bullshitting?
I
Or do you
think people
think people really don't know?
I think people are caught up in fear. I think that there's a part of you that always knows, right? Like when you I believe that's just been my experience. And when I hear people say that they have never had a sense of something, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I think that people are distracted and caught up in fear and not yet willing to devote themselves to what it will take to discover what your purpose is. It You have to remove stuff. You have to remove chatter. You have to, like, I've had to clean my body out. I've had to release people. I've had to, really question myself, be rigorous with, like, and that is hard work. And now I'm clear about what my purpose is. But when I wasn't clear, it's because I wasn't devoted to knowing. I was devoted to something else.
Belief.
Yes.
I think that everyone who's here is not of the same species or the same makeup, right?
Mhm.
There are 144 who, yes, I think that they do know their purpose, but like most said, they're distracted. I also think we have soulless bots here who have no purpose, who have nothing, everything that we're going through, they know nothing of it because
Mhm.
they're not made of that. And there are some people who did not incarnate at this time to fulfill their purpose.
Mhm.
I think some people are here to observe. They're like, okay, so this is what's going on. All right, cool. When I'm come back, I know this information and I'll be able to fulfill my purpose then. So I think it varies. But I think that
Mm.
if you're hearing us, if you are into all of this, you know your purpose. You're just
Mhm.
Right.
distracted, like Mo said. But some
Mhm.
people are literally like does, like
Yes.
like empty souls, empty
Mhm.
shells. They
NPC.
just
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah. So
Yeah,
Mhm.
non-playable characters. They're just in the background of your video game. And I always say those are the people that are supposed to be working for you. Like those are
Yeah.
the people that are supposed to be helping you in your agenda. Those are the people that's supposed to be, laying the bricks to your foundation or paving the roads or, taking out the trash. Like that's their purpose. Some people that's their purpose. There's nothing wrong with any of that either. There's nothing to look down
Absolutely.
on anybody,
Yes.
somebody who loves being a waiter or somebody who loves being a personal assistant. There's nothing wrong with that. That's their purpose. And there's people that love and are overjoyed. You just may have a different purpose, and your purpose is to inspire, your purpose is to help, and your purpose is to heal, and your purpose is to motivate, or your
Mhm.
purpose is to teach people magic, or things on different levels. And you're incarnated, especially like you said, if you're watching stuff like this and you're into this type of knowledge and information, your job is to help move the planet forward. Your
Mhm.
job is to help heal the planet. Your job is to help inspire the planet and bring something new to the planet, because we've had how many people that came and left, how many speakers and how many teachers and how many prophets. So really at this time it's about innovation because that's what the quote unquote days are doing, right? They're building AI, they're building new tech, they're building new things. So we have to start getting into the program of building and putting new things. And even if it's just new herbs, like the sister was saying, like just creating new herbs, like a new massage technique. I don't know, a new, toeology where you're able to press somebody's toe and, what you press the pinky toe and it takes away the pain in your liver, things
Yeah.
like that, like simple things,
Yeah.
creating socks for older people and,
Mhm.
releases the pain in their foot, like practical things that are simple, that things that people don't think about. We all thinking, buying a house and a big house and a big car. While those things are necessary, don't get me wrong, I want all those things too. But you also want to get those things from doing things you love so that it doesn't feel like work. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to really work. You want
Right.
to enjoy what you're doing. I don't think there's no one on the planet that wants to go to work. We
Yes.
all want to work at something that we enjoy, you
That's
know?
right. I
We
heard
all want
a today that said you can never beat someone who loves their work. You cannot beat someone who's doing what they love. You just can't because that love and passion is the winning element.
it's the winning formula. It's gonna
Yeah,
outwork you. Yeah,
if they
yeah.
have fun.
And
Yeah,
eventually, any other way, you're gonna burn out. You're just doing it for money. You're gonna burn
right,
out. Trust me. From a
right.
salesperson who put in 10, 12 hours some days in offices trying to get money, you
That's
will
right.
burn out.
That's
You
when
will burn
I decided to start my own business. I was like, okay, I have a child that has a diagnosis or IEP, right? So I could there could be a chance that I'm taking care of a person until for all my life, right? So I literally was like, what's sustainable? What can I do that I can do for the rest of my life? Because I cannot go work for somebody. I cannot drive through traffic for 3 hours a day. I cannot go and be like, yes, sir, huh? What do you? I cannot do that for the rest of my life. I need to do something that's sustainable, that feels joyful, that doesn't feel like work, so that I can be a vessel for myself, my child, and my community. I thought about that every day. What is it? What is the thing I can do? It's important that we think of, like this life is a real thing and we have this energy and we have to use it. You're going to leave everything here. You're not taking anything with you. So you may as well use it in a way that actually feels good.
And you live in a first world country with all the so-called first world country with all the tools and things at your availability.
Hmm.
Some people are depressed because they just don't want to do the work in order
Hmm.
to fulfill their purpose and what they need to do. They don't want to be creative. They don't want to make the sacrifices that are necessary.
Hmm.
This path is a entrepreneurial path. Your
Yeah.
boss, if you're working, made sacrifices to get to become the boss, to get to be cut checks. There's
Hmm.
things that you have to do. Even myself, like, there's certain questions in my mind, even with me still in corporate America, like, it's time, I have to like make the leap and take the risk,
Hmm.
and it's best believe that risk is going to get taken because I know there's a better future in that. And things will be rocky and things, well, nah, things ain't gonna be rocky. But
Hmm.
shit'll change and transform, but you gotta prepare for it. I'm not going into
That's,
that even blind. I'm preparing for that. So you
that's
gotta
right.
prepare for it. You gotta make sure your ducks in a row. That's the Saturn energy. You have to make sure
Hmm.
you have a structure and things in place so you're not just, I remember when The Secret first came out, and
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
Secret movie and the book, and people was just leaving their jobs like, oh, I'm just gonna visualize things because I saw it in The Secret. I'm just gonna visualize and meditate, and then things are just gonna come into my lap, and people were homeless and destitute,
I mean, that's
you
not
know,
not something to laugh
that's
about, but
that's yeah,
that was the
that's not
reality. But
godly.
like I said, you didn't know. It's like you're being introduced to this whole new world, right? This whole new world of magic and this whole new world of the subconscious, and you just run with it, like right, like
Mhm.
it's going to the other end of the seesaw, and it's not until you realize, well, wait a minute, I think I have to at least have some sort of structure where you kind of meet back in the
Mhm.
middle and you're like, okay, now I'm learning how to alchemize this energy and I'm learning how, yes, I created here, but I also got to use these to make things happen because we live in the 3D. We don't live on Mars or wherever.
Yeah.
Like you have to do those things, and
Eventually,
it's a learning process.
Hmm.
eventually you got to wake up from the dream. You know, you could dream, you could visualize all day, but ain't nothing gonna happen. But you getting fatter and fatter sitting in that seat meditating. You gonna turn to the Buddha for real, but you ain't gonna be able to get up and walk. So you gotta take care of what is important. You gotta take care of what you need to take care of, and you
Hmm.
have to take, like you guys are saying, and I'm saying, the necessary steps. Like you gotta feed the baby. You like Yamaya, that Isis or set energy. You gotta feed the baby. You gotta nurture the family, right? And the family, if you don't have children, it could just be your imagination, right? It could just be your dreams and putting things into spaces. And it doesn't take much time. Everyone has an hour a day. I don't care how busy you are.
Hmm.
Everyone has an hour. Like when I was part of the Nation of Gods on Earth, they call it 7 o'clock p.m. was the God hour, right?
Hmm.
So you're supposed to at 7 get into your books, get into your studies, right? That would be a time you would meditate and learn and things like that. So have a God hour for yourself because this is a very entrepreneurial type of path. You could go to Christianity and sit there and think the pastor's going to give you anything and Creflo Dollar and Joel Osteen and them. All they're going to give you is more time to give them more tithes so they could get a bigger private jet and bigger mansions and things like that. And you are sitting there in poverty. You're sitting there stuck. You're sitting there in bad relationships. You're sitting there can't get over your addictions, right? This is what the magic and learning about spells and learning about these incantations and learning about affirmations and mudras is really for. not just to
Mhm.
make you a superhero, right? That is going to come with the process where you get these different metaphysical powers and you tap into these different things. Um, I think we oh, what I want to talk about is, and lastly, what about isn't Pluto and Capricorn happening right now? Or about to happen sometime soon?
You mean Pluto and going into Aquarius?
Okay, maybe Pluto going into Aquarius. Yeah.
Because it's
Talk to me about
Pluto
that
has
because I
been in
know.
since 2007.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Pluto
Yeah.
spends
Okay.
about 20 years in a particular sign.
Yeah.
And right now it's at 29 degrees, which means it is Plutoing as much as it is going to Pluto right now, which
Mhm.
means that that energy is super, like super wrecking ball, super like decimation. That's why you're seeing everything that you're seeing right now on the news. That's Pluto at that
Hmm.
anoretic 29th degree before it gets into
Mhm.
Aquarius. The one thing I love about that Capricorn Aquarius energy is that Capricorn shows you the restrictions and Aquarius shows
Hmm.
you the freedom from those restrictions. So
Mhm.
once
Hmm.
Pluto moves from Capricorn to Aquarius, it's going to feel super different. It's going to feel very freeing. It's going to be really about creating these brand new structures in a very heavy and intense sort of way. But yeah, the train wrecks, everything that you're seeing that's going on, that's Pluto at 29 degrees Capricorn.
Mm.
Yeah. You got to set up your own restrictions. You can't let them put the restrictions on you, especially if you're free. You got to set
Yeah.
up your own boundaries and your own ways of life. That's the only way you really are a free being, right? You can't be free under somebody else's rule or somebody else's ID or what somebody else's think. Your parents, your friends, being boxed in, being scared. There's a lot of great people that are hiding, right? Hiding under, hiding their lamps, so to speak, hiding
Mhm.
their light because they're scared
Mhm.
of what other people think. This is not the time for that because things are changing and happening rapidly where if you're not straight in who you are, it could be not to be scary, but it could be fatal, especially this year. It could be deadly this year. If you're just going along to get along and you're just a sheep following what people say, following what people do, and you're the type of person who walks in the store and you just see the line and you're not looking at the shortest line. And like people do sheep like behavior, even in traffic. Like it's so funny. People just follow, like they'll see a traffic lane and they'll just go right behind the lane, not looking and seeing if there's other lanes that are shorter or anything like that. They just follow
Mhm.
where they see those people going. And that's most people. We're not supposed to be most people. We're supposed to be the
Mhm.
vanguard. We're supposed to be looking from the third eye. We're supposed to have three eyes. So not
Mhm.
just seeing terrestrial, but seeing beyond the terrestrial, the extraterrestrial. We are the aliens that you guys are waiting for and looking at. We are
Mhm.
the aliens. We are the 144K. So we have to start acting like it. I think that's it. I guess unless you ladies have anything else to say about this time period. What do you guys, any rituals, any advice? What do you guys think we should do? Or, what would you guys advise in this particular season, this Pisces season that we're in? And being that this new moon is happening tomorrow, any rituals, advice, perspectives you want to give the family? And hit that like button and that share, that subscribe button as well. Thank you.
I have been teaching in the community that I facilitate people to do water rituals during this Piscean time. Really do work to tap into the subconscious, your dream world, um, and water rituals and subconscious reprogramming while you're going to sleep at night. Um,
That was big on that subconscious
yeah.
programming.
Hmm.
Ancestral work, because Pisces is also, it has a connection to the ancestors, so you want to connect to your ancestors. So that's the direction that I suggest going in. Um, and lucid dreaming, like, you know, that's it.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
What you got, Mel?
I would agree with that.
Mhm.
Definitely anything having to do with water. If you can submerge yourself in water, that would be perfect. But like you said, I'm big on the subconscious programming. So I listen to affirmation tapes while I sleep. I
Mhm.
script, I journal, I do all of that stuff. But I do have a question for you, Mo. When you say lucid dreaming, for someone who doesn't if someone doesn't lucid dream like naturally, is it something that you feel like people should induce? And if so, like how do you do that?
You know, I I have used plant medicines to help me get out of the 3D reality mind and into the lucid dreaming experience. That helps me. That has helped me in the past for people who don't feel like they have access to their imagination in the way that, because the imagination is the key. It really is. Like, you, if you can't see it in your mind, you cannot experience it and have it. So I suggest that people just practice. I feel like, practice. And um you can use herbs. There are herbs that you can use, valerian root, things that relax you to,
Mugwort, Damiana,
right, exactly.
Valerian. Yeah.
um like I do mugwort rituals, mugwort baths, regularly. And here's the thing, sometimes people feel like they're not intuitive, or they are not psychic. You hear people say things like that. I'm not. Everyone is. And often when we feel like we're not, it's because we really are, but we don't recognize it because it's so close to you. It's so, and the thing is, the energy is subtle. It's the thing you will overlook so easily because it's the first. Mm. And so you have to become really sensitive. You have to desensitize. No, you have to make yourself really sensitive so you can feel those things. It's like, as you think about somebody, and you know that when you think about somebody, usually it's because they're thinking about you too. That's an energetic connect. A chord has come to you. And
Hmm.
if you're feeling, so it's like really studying and understanding how the reality works. And then when you're having the experience of it, you can name it for yourself so that it can grow, so that your strength grows in that. I hope that's helpful. um I'm not an expert in this, but I do it because it's so ethereal. It's like I think I'm doing it right. You know what I mean? It's very invisible. So those are the things I do. And then I want to add one thing else. I also will talk to the environment and ask for things to show up. Like, if what I'm thinking is true, I want, show me a bumblebee. If what I'm feeling is
I do that
real,
too.
show me a hummingbird. And it will happen, which offers, wow, like it is alive. It really is alive. So ask for evidence. Ask for the universe to show you the evidence of what's going on inside of you, to then be experiencing it externally as well.
I
Yeah.
love
When I go on my mushroom trips,
Hmm.
um, new moons or full moons, plant medicine, right?
Hmm.
And every time I go outside after, it's a confirmation, like immediately. It's not
Hmm.
even whether
that.
it's colors or something that walks by that or something on the wall or something, like always. There's always like a confirmation. So you're right. Nature talks back to you. Definitely a time for spirit baths, right?
Hmm.
Pisces, water energy, Yaya energy, Isis energy, working with those type of deities,
Hmm.
seashells, things like that, right? Making your petitions. Definitely writing on your water bottles where you're
Yes.
writing on your speaking into your water,
Hmm.
right? Dr. Emoto. Look
Hmm.
up Dr. Emoto, learn what he's talking about through the water experiment. If you don't believe it, write bad on the glass, write good on the glass, write love on the glass, write hate on the glass with a little bit of rice in it and see what happens. You'll
Hmm.
clearly see that what you say to yourself matters because you're mostly made of water. So
Yeah.
affirming yourself on a regular basis, and also silence. Like I said in my video a couple days back, like tuning into that silence so that you can control the flow. Because right now the flow is chaos, high
Hmm.
chaos, right? High intensity, high chaos, high distraction, high stimulation, right? High dopamine inducing. What's this? What's that? What's this? Oh, this is, oh, this. Wow, this is crazy. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Got to get in silence and stillness so you can control your flow. You
Yes.
can't control your flow watching YouTube all day. That's great and as beautiful as all three of us are. right?
Mhm.
And as great as we're speaking, right? We can't control your flow. You have to control your flow. And you
Mhm.
need silence to do that. You need to sit in a spirit bath, get some herbs, put them on you, right? Tap into that particular energy. You can find this stuff online. It's not hard, right? Tap into what you need, even if it's abundance, you need money, things like that. There's a herb for that. You just have to have that energy so you can strengthen your electromagnetic field. I'm big on electromagnetic field work and
Mhm.
strengthening your aura because you have the magic in you. You
Okay.
just have to know how to the tools to bring it out. And even if you don't have any tools or any way, you strengthen your imagination, and those things will start to come to you. The tools that you need will come to you. You'll use your magnetic energy and bring those things to you.
Mhm.
So now is the time, for all these tools that we're talking about to use them to your advantage and tap into the aquatic energy, which is really just the waters in you, the still waters in you.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's it. With
Yes.
that being said, ladies, tell them where they can find you, your services that you offer, things like that.
Divine Feminine Works on all platforms. I do natal chart, progress natal charts, readings, all that good stuff. You can visit my website, www.divinefeminineworks.com.
Okay. You can find me at MoniqueRuffin.com, Monique Ruffin on all of the networks and platforms. I do, I teach people how to use astrological tools to heal themselves, to transmute energies and alchemize old patterns into new ways of being.
This is a good book, by the way. Well, thank you. I was
Isn't
reading
that book
I was
amazing?
reading this I was reading this last night. This is a good
Body
book.
astrology. Okay, I'm gonna have to get
Body
that.
astrology. This is a good book. Yeah. Talking about
That,
like the herbs and the foods you need to take.
mhm.
Like Scorpio talks about gut issues, and I'm like, yeah, I've been dealing with this shit all my life. So it's like perfect, right on time. So thank you.
It's
Body
amazing.
Astrology by Claire Gallagher. Yeah, get
Yeah,
this one.
yeah,
Oh, I also want to say be careful where you're going. Pisces rules the feet, right? So be
yeah.
careful of the rooms you walk into, the places that you're going, the places that you're entering, the clubs, the concerts, right? Memphis. People were at a party in Memphis yesterday.
Mhm.
11 people got shot up, right? Maybe somebody got a intuition that they shouldn't go, right? But their girl was like, "Come on, girl, let's go. It's gonna be all right. Cause to come to the party, just come to the club and turn up, right?"
Mhm.
And 11 people got shot up at the party. So be careful
Anoint your
what
feet.
you're walking into. Anoint you.
Anoint your
Mm.
feet. Bless them. Pray over them. Put oil on your feet. Walk everywhere you walk. You are safe. Everything my feet take me into heaven. I'm walking into heaven. Claim it. Walk. You know what I mean? So because the universe
Sigils. Yeah. You put
will.
sigils and symbols too.
That's right. The universe will break those realities down. I'm telling you, I grew up in the hood. I walked out of many places and found out later that people got shot and killed. That was my childhood, right? So it's real.
It's real. Yeah, same thing. I walked away, went to the spirit was like, go home.
That's
Said this
right.
all the time as a kid. And the block got shot up. They did a drive-by. I was the tallest person out of all my friends. So I definitely would have got shot.
That's
So
right.
yeah, trust your feet, trust them happy feet. When they tell you to move, move. When they tell you don't move, don't move. This New Year's, I was supposed to go to a New Year's party.
Mhm,
Spirit was like, nah, don't go. Everything started happening. My phone started shutting down. I told the story on my channel.
mhm.
And boom, there was a situation where things got shot up in Times Square. The train I was gonna take got delayed. Somebody was on the train tracks. Actually, Mel sent me the video. It would have been the train I'd have been on. So I'd have been spending my New Year's on a New York Transit train. Not the way you want to spend it, folks. All right, not the way you want to bring it in. So trust your feet, like she said, anoint it, rub it with oils, burn some frankincense and myrrh. Very, very good all around incense. And with that being said, y'all know where to find me right here. All right. And with that being said, y'all will see me tomorrow. We're going to talk about Quantum Mania,
Mhm.
decoding that a little bit. Very powerful movie. And take us out with a prayer, Mo.
All right. Thank you. Heavenly Father, Mother God, how good it is to surrender into the allness of the universal presence that is here right now. How good it is to know that I am one with the presence of the creative force of the universe. And as I know this for myself, this oneness with all that is, the power that rotates the earth around the sun, and moves the planets through this universal experience while creating more magnificence in all ways. I am one with this, and Rob is one with this, and Mel is one with this energy. And each person who is within the sound of my voice is connected to the divine force of the universe, and they are all being catapulted into the life that they were born to live. We are all being activated in this alchemical way that allows us to express the God qualities that we are. And so I trust and know that we are each saying yes to the presence of the divine that moves through us, that breathes us, that moves the blood through our veins, that beats our hearts, that we are all experiencing profound connections to wellness and joy and love and peace and harmony. And that as we step into this Pisces and new moon energy, we are activated by the ancestral portals of time that are ancient and expansive and subconscious. And whatever we see ourselves as, whatever we are connected to the divine within us, in our memory, in our subconscious, in our connection to the waters, we are here now to express God in ways that revolutionizes our lives, our communities, our families, and the world. We are here to be God on earth. And for this, I am grateful. I feel it, I know it, I see it, I let it be, and I say, and so it is. Ashe.
I mean, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. With that being said, peace, prosperity, everybody. Rob Black Storm, Mel Divine Feminine Works, Moni the Moon Mama. Find your purpose or you're wasting air and follow it with all your heart, even if your heart is shaking. Follow your passion. Peace.